Trundle, and the Gangplank comes out by Yuna, and the R5 for Odyssey is the Tryndamere. This is not a pick that we've seen very often from Rack, but it's going to come out here immediately in game 1. Look at the runes real quick, and there's nothing really surprising on either side.
Summoner's Rift.
Odyssey looking to ambush one of the members of Odyssey, but Rack 96 smartly comes out of a tri-bush, does not let himself get surprised by the entire team of Cursed Tides. If you just sit in the tri-bush in that position, you know, assuming that Cursed Tides takes the correct path towards that tri-bush, you can still get surprised. You can still be surprised by the gap in vision that exists. Cursed Tides could have exploited that, but Rack comes out of a tri-bush, spots them early enough so that nothing like that takes place. And Cursed Tides will just have to settle for a little bit of vision in the red buff jungle of your opponents. Albacro starting with E, already going for a trade. Rack going for some kind of early game play that could net him a sizable advantage inside of the lane. Lethal Tempo almost stacked. Yuna plays it out defensively quite well. Both top laners opting for Dora's shield, which is understandable. Hook lands from Giga Cringe Rat here, but not really threatening at level 1. The crit's already coming in. Who can last hit the barrel first? It's actually Rack that does so successfully. Yuna sets up another one. Oh, it's a very tense battle here. Level 2, Rack. We all know how unforgiving he can be in the lane. Already threatening a solo kill this early. Yuna actually misses his barrel combo. Rack wanted to go for a little bit more. Wibbly pathing towards the bottom side of the map. Dusk choosing to go for the opposite. Blue Gromp skips Wolves and Raptors, actually. Maybe, you know, I'm not sure what exactly he's going for here. Given that, you know, the top lane is not really gankable, but perhaps it is diveable. There's a big wave stacking in already. If Dusk can make it in time for the wave to crash, maybe they can get something going here, but Rack! He flubs it completely. First blood for Yuna. He dies before the jungler can make it there. Now Dusk is on the scene. He wants to kill Yuna inside of a turret, but W will save him. Will grant him enough health. And that is Odyssey with a major screw-up on their first attempt to make a play inside of his game 1. That was a very good idea from Odyssey. Like, the concept of that play was good, but Rack could not afford to die in that spot, because then you just don't have enough damage to kill the pirate under the tower. Giga Cringe Rat going for another hook, but this time it was blocked by a minion. Odyssey in a little bit of an awkward position as the wave is pushing away from them here. Wibbly going for an invade. Hikes is a little bit late, but regardless, Wibbly will go for it. Ignite already placed, but Wibbly will just go straight onto Albacro, but does Cursed Tides have enough damage? The answer is no. Cargill follows the play. The bot lane with Cursed Tides was not available. And Wibbly, he knew that Dusk made a proactive play. He skipped his camps. He went for a top lane dive. He saw that Dusk only had 12 CS. So he wanted to be ahead of the curve here. He wanted to invade his lane opponent, his jungle opponent, but it was not quite followed up by Cursed Tides. Maybe if it was more of a collaborative effort, especially from the bot lane, then this would have worked out. One for one on the scoreboard in terms of kills. But now you have to look at the CS advantages in the lanes. As Rack has a CS lead, but it is also Cursed Tide's bot lane that has one. On the other side of the map, as Rack now forced to burn a flash really early into this lane. His Ignite has just come up. He used it very early. Now he's popped level 6, but he cannot quite afford to go aggressive just yet because the jungler is still hovering on the side of the map where he is located. So can't go for anything risky. Or will he? He actually just spins, goes right for the kill. But he will not go for anything more. Wibbly was there to assist if Rack wanted to go for something more than just some harass. Giga Cringe Rat goes for an aggressive hook, but it might just be punished here. Cargilly almost dies to a Void Seeker on the end of that. If he took even, just a little bit of minion damage, he might have just died on the spot there. So, played right on the edge there by Odyssey. Cargilly stays alive. That sustain from the Dawning Shadow coming in clutch. Now, all things considered, I think Cursed Tides can be quite happy with how the lanes are going, but as I say that, it's a good stun. It will be a first kill by Moist Swan, but Odyssey can easily get two here. Dusk is trying to go for that kill onto the Kaisa. Moist Swan takes the Lantern. Nice little follow-up by Blaziken. Can they get the kill onto the Thresh? A Death Sentence lands. Does he have enough damage to kill a jungler? Not quite! Blaziken gets both. Very well played by Dusk. Handles the tower aggro perfectly. Sets up his bot lane. And this is one point that we haven't addressed before this game. The Cursed Tides bot lane. They can overextend for these kills. We've seen it in multiple situations where the Cursed Tides bot lane just doesn't respect the jungler. And they end up paying for it dearly. This was one of these situations. They had a sizable CS lead and now it's all melted. Gonna have to be real careful here. I think he can be quite grateful that Rack decided not to take Ghost this lane, because I feel like it would be just straight up more useful. Although, as I say that, Rack was able to almost get Gangplank down to 0. Gonna have to burn that flash real fast. Now he's gonna TP back to lane, because he doesn't want to lose the wave that's incoming. And we have a pause. Looks like Odyssey's support has disconnected. Once again, you have to admire the proactivity of Dusk when he's playing these utility champions. Those selfless, uh, well, they are tanks, but they don't have the same amount of, they don't have the same amount of income as a regular top laner, so Dusk is not as tanky as an Ornn would be. Just camping in the top lane, getting wave after wave. Instead, Dusk is trying to make stuff happen across the map, and it hasn't worked for the top side of the map because of the well, it was a mechanical misplay, I think, but it worked out for the bot lane though. I'm sure Blaziken will appreciate those 2 kills that were donated to him. He will most likely finish Everfrost and then move on for some more AP items. Not gonna lie, I would be quite disappointed if we saw something like Lasagna's Hourglass. An item that can be quite good on certain mages, but for Veigar it feels like a bit of a waste most of the time. With how, how effective Veigar is at just stacking AP, scaling for the mid game. Feels like Rabadon's Death Cap is usually the perfect choice if you can afford it. Right now, the CS numbers are not very high for Blaziken, but maybe he can still make it work. First Tides already onto the dragon. Meanwhile, Rack going for another aggressive trade. He's getting poked. He's getting poked down here. Gonna so far has been able to handle the situation. Odyssey trying to go for a cross map, but they are quite late. Poppy boots the jungler away, but Yuna is here. And he will be able to scare Odyssey off completely from the objective. They will not be able to take this Herald. First Tides take both neutral objectives at once. It's a big W for a blue side team here. This decision perhaps could have worked out if Odyssey decided to go for it fast enough. But, no. Enough talk about that, because Rack has just solo killed Yuna on this Trendemir pick. Really good stuff by Odyssey. Almost another kill happening on the other side of the map. In the meantime, more Swan taken down to less than 10% HP here. That was really close. The Summoner heal keeps him alive. As far as item choices go, Rack is going for Stridebreaker, which feels like an apt choice versus a champion like Gangplank who will look to keep his distance and run away from you. It is a very big help in these mid-range slash full-range matchups. Albert Crow in quite a bit of trouble without his flash, but Charm doesn't land, but between Trundle and the Ahri, there's enough damage to take the mid laner down. That's Cursed Tides with another pick on the board. Kai'Sa has to be quite careful when she wants to just auto-attack the bot lane on the other side. Because that cage is quite threatening. Cursed Tides take the kill and successfully take down some plates as well. With the help of that Rift Herald, and now it is a modest lead, but it is a gold lead nevertheless. Rack is trying to make that gold lead a little bit smaller. His ultimate is already up. That is a very high chance, but he will look to dive the tower here. Meanwhile, Dusk is going for a gank bot lane, and they will just lock down Giga Cringe Rat where he stands. A little bit more damage was required. A flash from Dusk, but they make it happen anyway. Moist Swan taken down very low once again. Rack not going for anything aggressive yet. He knows that his jungler is on the other side. He is respecting the possibility that he could get ganked right now, but now Yuna actually going for the play. Tried to get the solo kill on the other side, but he goes in too early. His jungler was trying to help him there, but he will fall to the ignite. And Rack will just be able to get away with his life. That's another big win for the Trundle. Sorry, for the Tryndamere, but now he gets ulted and he dies, so that's a bit of a shameful moment there for Rack, but Odyssey get another win, this time in the mid lane. Albacrow with a solo kill in the Vex versus Ahri matchup. Hikes already had Lunas completed. Albacrow with just the components, but regardless, he lands that kill onto his opponent. And Odyssey, despite those two substitutes right now, they are making this first game very competitive. Now that would have been a very big win for Rack if he decided not to just clown around there for 2 seconds, and that that just allowed Wibbly to, you know, fire his ultimate on his face as it came off cooldown. If there was UNL Shacked in a Fool, Rack would definitely make the video on this one, but Cursed Tide's now going for the play. Poppy boots one of the members, which will make it harder for Cursed Tide to secure any kills. Yuna wants to get a revenge solo kill here, and he will successfully do so. It's a 1-for-0 right now, as action was happening on both sides, but Cursed Tides come away victorious. And that's happening just as the dragon spawns as well, so Cursed Tides, they are controlling the map right now. They don't feel quite confident to start this out just yet. They want to go for some extra picks, but Wibbly is a bit isolated from his team. The cage doesn't land on the Trundle, however, but the fear lands though, and they do CC him down, pin him against the wall, and eliminate him. Wibbly staring at a gray screen, but does that prompt Odyssey to take down the dragon? The answer is no. They will take the recalls first. I feel like that was a play that could have been made. Odyssey may be a bit too hesitant for my own liking. But it remains clear that they will not be afraid to put up a fight versus the Cursed Tides team if they see an opportunity. Now instead, Odyssey playing for his Herald, but it is a big numbers disadvantage right now. Albacrow coming in, but he does not have his ultimate. Rack96 had to burn an ultimate of his own. Regardless, Odyssey actually take the Herald down. The engage did not work out the way Cursed Tides wanted it to. Risky proposition by Odyssey, but the Herald goes to them. Pikes used his Spirit Rush to try and look for a pick, but Albacrow was ready. But will he be ready for this? He almost walks into a hook from Giga Cringe Rat. But just about gets out of trouble. Nice pillar from Wibbly, and that allows Moist Swan to get in there and get some damage out. Nice hook by Giga Cringe Rat. Secures that kill. A very important pick before this dragon. Looks like Cursed Tides, armed and ready. They want to take this objective down. All of their ultimates are down, but they feel confident enough to get this. And their assessment is correct. Odyssey does not want to fight. 2 dragons to 0 right now. Odyssey doing things, doing some good things on the map, but right now it's not really translating towards many neutral objectives. The first tower was secured by Cursed Tides, and the 2 dragons go their way as well. It's just the second Herald that was claimed by Odyssey. And it is sitting in Rack's inventory, which means Yuna just has to respect Rack's split push that much more. And he has to be there to cover the lane. Could have seen something happening bot side here. Dusk will try and go for the play regardless, flashing under the play. But now he's in a lot of trouble as Wibbly comes in for the counter gank. Dusk goes in way too hard for this engage. And he will die for it. It's a pretty important kill onto Moist Swan. They want to get this Kai'Sa as fast as humanly possible. Void Seeker lands onto Vygar, but the damage is still a little bit lacking. Not many points put into this ability. Cursed Tides get turret number 2 in this game. Turret number 3 quickly follows. Looks like they are slowly but surely creating a map state where they are the dominant force. What can Odyssey do against this? Giga Cringe Rat, isolated. Doesn't have his team to help him. The flash from Cursed Tides. They just gang up on Albacrow and they take him down. Giga Cringe Rat on the other side will lose his life. It's a little bit of a chaotic fight right now. Cursed Tides still trying to fight while Rack has summoned the Rift Herald and he's taking these towers down. He does not care about Yuna's damage right now. Now he will pop the Undying Rage. He will go for his dive. Can Yuna create enough distance to stay alive? Rack 96 does not pop his Q for the heal. And Yuna will get the kill at the end of the day. He withstands the split push force of the Tryndamere for now. I mean, Rack tried to play it on the knife's edge. He wanted to maximize the value he got out of Undying Rage, but I feel like he just... Yep. Just a slight miscalculation. Means that Yuna gets another kill. And every kill on Gangplank is going to hurt that much more. The champion that scales extremely well with items. Already completed the Navori Quick Blades and the Essence Reverb. Looks like the Guardian Angel will be the next item to follow. Uh-oh. Blaziken's farming alone in the side lane, but he is going to be taken down very quickly. This is not where you want to be without the coverage from your jungler. Nice root there by the Senna, but the follow-up from Albacro is a little bit awkward. It does not land on anyone. Odyssey trying to make things work cross-map, but the map is falling apart a little bit. Now Rack is taking turrets down on the other side of the map, but feels like it's still Cursed Tides with that tempo advantage. They won't be able to answer Tryndamere before he takes any more turrets. Good charm by Hikes. Keeps him locked in here. There's no follow-up from the rest of Cursed Tide, so that's where it's going to end. Odyssey actually starting up this dragon, but Cursed Tides are more than ready. Wibbly, will he try to go for his steal? He does not get the smite in time, and it's Odyssey who secure it. Poppy, Boots, Moist Swan all the way away from a team fight. TP comes in from Hikes. Or sorry, from a Gangplank, actually. Just to make sure that Cursed Tides can keep going, but Odyssey, it very well might be that they keep everyone alive after they take down this dragon. Moist Swan, he really wants to keep going, but he has to be careful. Well, that will just about be the end of it. Odyssey come away with the objective and the tower in the bot lane. So nicely maneuvered. This does close down the gold lead, but Cursed Tides have accumulated by just a bit. Still a 4,000 lead for Cursed Tides though, and their scaling champions are doing quite fine. Isa will soon have 3 items finished. Just going for a gank onto Yuna. Removes Curvy, will remove the CC, but it will not bring his life back. The Guardian Angel will. He actually stays alive. Albacro has to flash here. Does he respect the crit chance that could come out? The Senna ult from downtown just about secures it. And Odyssey played that very well to secure the kill 1v3, but it goes to show how much Yuna is able to do, even in a situation like this. Was that Tryndamere ult popped when Rack was full HP? I swear I heard the sound. I mean, if that is the case, that is another sizable misplay from Rack here, as Cursed Tides is now moving straight to the objective. The Baron Nashor. There's no more split bush threat from Odyssey, so they have to take the challenge head on. And for now, they will scare Cursed Tides away from this. Feels like it was just a little bit of a challenge to see if Odyssey was there to respond, and they were. Now maybe they will have dibs on this tower. Cursed Tides looks like they are not quite ready to respond to this. Odyssey keeping up the pressure, it's just Ahri defending. Odyssey, they equalize the number of turrets taken down. Now Wibbly goes in for the kill, flashes in, nice charm onto Blaziken. They will take him down very fast. Cargilly follows, and Cursed Tides, they punish the over-aggression from Odyssey. Stayed a little bit too long after the turret takedown, and they will reap the full rewards. They will get another kill onto Rack. 4 for 0 for Cursed Tides. The Baron is there for the taking. Pretty much a present. All you have to do is open up the package. That looked like a sketchy engage from Cursed Tides at first, but the important CC landed. Wibbly flashing in, taking on quite a bit of damage onto himself, then Hikes landing a very important charm onto the Vigar, which means Odyssey just don't have a lot of damage left in the tank after that. And they were standing on the cannon barrage from Yona as well, so when that happens, it is quite hard to run away. Another dragon is about to spawn. This should put Cursed Tides on soul point. Albacrow walking too close to the Trundle. Did not have flash to save himself in that situation. Cursed Tides says screw the dragon. They want to push down some turrets. Maybe we can get another pick. Really good charm from Hikes. This was a mid laner that came in. Mid laner substitute that came in on short notice, and he's making his presence known in game 1. Yuna kills Rack once again in the top lane. In this game 1, I don't think there's any doubt as to who the better top laner was. Cursed Tides. Odyssey, you know, they were almost going blow for blow in the early game, but eventually Cursed Tides just managed to run away with a lead here. And this is just a gold lead that they should not be able to just waste away. One inhibitor taken down already. And Dusk, he thought he was safe inside of his own jungle, but it turns out he had another thing coming. Giga Cringe Rat almost lands that hook, almost makes him pay for his excursion, but Dusk will return. Well, he actually is going to the bot side of his jungle to farm some more camps while the base is being sieged. Odyssey just don't have quite enough members to stop this Baron push from Cursed Tides. Looks like Cursed Tides will just take the bot lane inhibitor. Now the Poppy comes in with the recall. Flash ult. That is going to just make Cursed Tides run away from now, but yeah, still a bit of a late response as the cannon barrage does quite a bit of damage on its own. Shadow Surge lands from Vex. Will that be a signal from Odyssey to go in? Vex goes in, but not a lot of damage. Now they take down the mid laner from Cursed Tides. Tryndamere onto Moist Swan 43. Undying Rage already running, but Zhonya's Hourglass will buy a lot of time. And they will be able to kill the Tryndamere at the end of it all. Yuna tries to go for more kills, but he's stunned against the tower. I guess it doesn't matter when you still have your Guardian Angel. He knew what he was doing, but he still gets caught by the cage, though, and Cursed Tides. I don't think they will be able to end this game. Moist Swan almost dies in the process. Wibbly stunned against the wall. He will be the next one to die. And well, Odyssey, they do defend the base, but it's not looking too hot for them. They have pretty much no structures remaining. So still, it should just be a matter of time. If Cursed Tides may, you know, they could have played it a bit more cleanly, and we probably would have been looking at a post-game screen right about now. Well, we're just going to have to wait a few more minutes. 4 items completed for Moist Swan here. Yuna trying to milk all the value possible out of his Guardian Angel here. Yeah, the fact that both Kaisa and Ari can build Zhonya's Hourglass just makes it a lot more troublesome for Tryndamere to take down the targets in the backline. Kaisa is just a pesky little champion that can build many items in this game, both AP and AD, so can adapt to just about any situation. And Moist Swan, with a very smart purchase, denies that kill. Now Dusk. I'm not sure what that was about. First Tides, they will just take the Baron for free, and then they will just march it down mid, most likely. No screwing around this time. Albacrow going for something more, but look at the damage that the Gangplank is putting out with his crits. Full build. Karagili jumped on by the Kaisa. Void Assault comes in. And that's 3 members down from Odyssey. Blaziken and the Tryndamere, only ones remaining. Gonna taken down by the Vigar actually, but the Nexus is laid bare, and there's no CC to stop First Tides from just destroying it. Game 1 goes to the number 2 seed. First Tides. That's objective complete for the team. Oh my god. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Chat, are you seeing this? Chat, I want you to look at this draft and tell me the name of a top laner on the red side. Alright, let's see. Match point. Can Cursed Tides close this one out and meet it up against Astro Smurfs in the Losers Finals, or will Odyssey tie this series and take us to Game 3? Rack opting for the combat start. So he will not look to interact all that much versus a lane opponent.
Minions have spawned.
Albacrow going for first strike, very much the scaling option, will at some point allow him to secure an item advantage over his lane opponent if he just keeps up in CS. Other runes feel quite par for the course. Heimerdinger already starting off his push. Blaze and Kargili, they want to thin out the wave here, even at just a little bit, just to prevent Heimerdinger to, from harassing you at the tower for prolonged periods of time. We'll see what kind of clear Vi decides to go for here. It actually went from red to Krugs to now Raptors. A lot of the time it feels like the Krug camp is that one camp that Vi players like to skip a lot, but this time it's not the case. Zen is progressing through the jungle just a little bit faster. But his lack of AoE in the first clear evens this out a little bit. It's going pretty much as we expected for now. Cursed Tide's bot lane already securing the push. Jax having the advantage in the early game. Dusk will look for that first gank opportunity, but he gets spotted out immediately. Good ward timing by Cursed Tides. We'll see what Yuna does after he pushed this lane out. Oh, he could be looking for Verone towards mid. Snuffs out some vision. He will be seen by Odyssey. Albacrow pays it no mind. Return to business as usual. Nice stun though by Giga Cringe Rat. He goes in, but he gets caught by the root from all the feathers by Zaya, and this was perhaps a bridge too far by the Thresh. And him being this low already makes things quite awkward for Cursed Tides. They won't be able to apply as much pressure as they normally would. They put down another ward, so this means they will be safe from a jungler, but they will still have to respect the possibility of a gank coming in. Yuna onto Rack. He just needs a little bit more leap strike into an auto attack. And the solo kill from Yuna comes out. Malphite solo kills before 6. That's gotta sting. Dusk on the other side tries to handle the Thresh here. But the flash W from Cargilly just about missed the mark. Giga Cringe Rat actually held on to his own flash, funnily enough. Oh, Rack 96 TP'd back to his lane. Teleports, tries to shove the wave in, but Wibbly, the expert jungler that he is, knows exactly what the punish is in this kind of situation. Malphite, not the best wave clear in the early game. You know, still a little bit gated by his cooldowns. And he gets dropped once again. And this, you know, after you burn the TP and the top laner still has the wave on his side, it feels miserable. And this is Cursed Tides with a fantastic opening in this game too. Well, Dusk, at least, he's not, you know, just waiting around as tragedy ensued in the top lane. He takes the first dragon of the game fairly early, 6 minutes in. The dragon stacking officially begins. That didn't look like a lot of damage from Albacrow. Was expecting a little bit more there. Just trying to find angles. But a lane gank from Vi without level 6 just does not have the same kind of effectiveness. And as we speak, Wibbly is just clearing out Dusk's camps on the other side. He's not really getting anything done, while Wibbly is just slowly building up his advantage. Rack will just recall he will avoid that gank that could have come out. Wibbly was in the vicinity, obviously, after taking that red buff. He was ready for the punish. But Rack did not give him the opportunity. I'm surprised we didn't see something like a Ninja Tabby Rush from Rack here. It feels like that would help him loads more than just taking the Kindle Gem and then building the boots. But perhaps he feels like maybe later on he will require something like the Merc Tread, so we'll see what he goes for here. Doesn't go for Bobby Cinder, and I feel like that's a smart decision. When you're already behind in a matchup like this, you don't want, you want as much control over your lane, over your waves as possible. You don't want the wave to just auto-push. Bobby Cinder would do just that. Rack is trying to get the crash, but Yuna will maintain the wave just outside of his turret, which always creates a very awkward position for the enemy top laner. Blaze right now doing just fine in this matchup. Voice Swan with a small CS lead, but nothing more than that. Wibbly is here to try and close down on the Rakan of Kargili, but it's a 4v3 right now. Dusk onto Wibbly, but his ultimate is running. First kill goes onto Odyssey though, and they do make good on the second pick as well. Albacro with a nice play here. Featherstorm to avoid additional damage, but look at Wibbly's doing on the backline of his fight. He actually stays alive. He's still going. The Conqueror is running. It's a triple for Wibbly on this Xin. It's like we turned back the clock. Wibbly is dominating on this pick once again. 4 kills up already. And Rack 96 solo kill is going to happen. He actually gets one back on Yuna. That's quite surprising, but he made it work. So not all bad for Odyssey, but, seeing this Xin having Gore Drinker already finished has to feel bad. First Tides will rely on him for, engaging a lot of these fights later on into the game. He can stay ahead of the curve. Build something like Sterak's Gauge to ensure even more survivability when he's in the thick of things, then Odyssey might just find it quite hard to play the team fights out. The second dragon is up. As we speak, Odyssey is going to start it out. Wibbly secured the Herald on the other side. He goes for the call. Everyone's moving in to try and steal. Oh my god! Giga Cringe Rack gets it with his death sentence! A bit of a fumble by Odyssey, but perhaps they can still get some kills up here. Rack on the scene. Unstoppable forces up. But they cannot get anything more. Actually, no, Rack will go for it. Gets the whole rotation, but that has to be a bit of a frustration play, as Cursed Tides get away with his neutral objective with pretty much minimal effort. They didn't even have to go for the fight. Wibbly just put down the Herald mid, got some additional plates. Yuna is still topside, taking plates down as well. This gold lead is just getting bigger and bigger. And it's all because Odyssey went for this dragon and then overextended, trying to get back at Cursed Tides for what they did. And Cursed Tides now over 2,000 gold up. Important Mythics already coming in. But look at the level lead and the damage, the item lead from Wibbly. This just makes it a very one-sided affair between the Xin and the Vi. Now he goes on to the Malphite. Misses some skill shot, but it's all good. First Tides, this feels a lot more dominant than the first game. This already feels like Odyssey are grasping at straws a little bit. They may have champions like the Talia and the Xayah, but can they make it to the 30-minute mark without losing most of their base? Cargill goes for the engage onto the Fresh, but the damage is just not coming in. Now the Root Caller is going to get some damage onto Giga Cringe Rat here. Oh, Rack is trying to stop Yuna from taking down the tower, and he will successfully do so. Yuna pops his ultimate, but he still might be in trouble. Another Q is going to come in. Rack will just chase him down. The minions could just finish him off. The regen from Second Wind isn't enough to save him. Pops the heal from Divine Sunder. Arcane Comet misses. The ground pound misses. Yuna's still alive. Another Q. He's still running away. He was just about to make it out, but one final ability press from Malphite secures the kill. And that tower actually was taken down at the end of the day. And now Odyssey making another play onto the Cursed Tides mid laner. They have a lot of mobility. Hikes has no stacks on the Spirit Rusher remaining. So eventually it should just be a kill. One of these guys will just take it for themselves. It's only a matter of time. I mean, it will get donated by Cargill. I think Odyssey don't want to waste more time on chasing down that kill while Wibbly is trying to take down the mid lane turret. Odyssey recognized that that was a little bit of a fool's errand here. And they protect the mid lane turret just in time. First Tide's not pulling the trigger on any 2v1 play. Not even to force a Featherstorm out of Blaziken here. Things have calmed down a little bit. Skill shots are flying, but Blaziken is still avoiding most of them. Do Odyssey want to fight for this next objective? Their vision setup not the best. Now the stun lands onto Blaziken. The root is good. But look at Wibbly and how he's just ignoring the damage that's coming out. All he has to do is pop his ultimate. Rack uses his teleport, but it feels like it's already over. What more can you do in this situation? Hikes is zoning two members of Odyssey on his own. CT feeling very comfortable inside of Odyssey's own jungle. Hikes going for the flash charm will just about miss the target that was intended. While all of this is going on, Odyssey is not matching the Jax at all. He will just carry the wave straight to the tower. And he will continue his push. Odyssey's still preoccupied with this dragon. They want to stop Cursed Tides from doing it, but at what cost? Cursed Tides, they are more than fine with just keeping the status quo. They will not want to engage. Now, Odyssey, they take down support. The teleport's still not coming out from Yuna. Cursed Tides, they want to keep this going. Look at all the farm that Yuna's taking on his own. Now the TP comes out. It is a good teleport ward. Odyssey stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. The stun comes out. They are all taking so much damage. And it's quickly assigned to retreat for the jungle and the support. The Vi will still die, however. There's no running away from that spot. Will Cargill get at least one in return, the answer is yes, Ignite will burn him down, but that is a very small consolation prize for what Cursed Tides was able to do to them. Yuna gets the tower top, so many waves for free, TP's down, wins the fight. Everything going so well for Cursed Tides. And it feels like it's all off the back of Wibbly and how he orchestrated his early game. Albert Crow is doing fine on the Talia, but the team fights are just not working out for Odyssey right now. Takes too much effort to take down even the one solitary jungler on the side of Cursed Tides. Malphite taking the initial blows. Odyssey wants to go for this fight. The wall isolates a lot of members of Cursed Tides, but first kill will go on to Moist Swan. This is a good team fight for them, but now Wibbly goes on to Messiah, and she is zoned out from the fight completely. Look at how much Wibbly is able to do on his own. Albacro doing a lot of work, but he will eventually fall as well. Rack gets the shutdown. Oh, actually, it was not a shutdown. It was just a triple kill. Again, a decent attempt from Odyssey, but Xin Zhao is just... he's just running this map. How can Odyssey hope to stop him? Blaziken is still quite far behind the curve. He needs the Navori quick plays, and he probably needs Lord Dominic's regards after this, and that is a lot of gold that he still needs to accrue. Can Odyssey afford to wait that long? While Baron Nashor is already starting. You have to imagine with picks like Heimerdinger, maybe they will just want to force it at a moment's notice if they find good enough opportunity. Rack's still doing fine in the side lane. A little bit of a premature crescent guard there from the Xin Zhao. Nice scoop there by Albacro. Wibbly goes in. There's no real counter engage from Odyssey. I thought maybe they would try and go for at least one pick. Yuna pops his Grandmaster's Might in the bot lane. Now Vigor's re-engage. Unstoppable Force. It's not going to come out because there's no TP yet, but Albacro is putting out a lot of damage at the start of this fight. It's a 2-for-1 right now. Wibbly continues to go forward. The flash from Blaziken was very unfortunate. And at the end of the day, it's still Cursed Tides on the push. Malphite is here though. Pretty good engage. But no unstoppable force there to be had. Rack 96, all he can hope to do is just protect the turret with his body. And that's about it. No CC to keep them down. "22 minutes and Wibbly has... still he has not fallen. Inside of his game. And I have to point I just have to point out the stopwatches right now. 4 members of Cursed Tides have stopwatches ready for this dragon fight. How is Vi supposed to choose a target for the engage to happen? Cursed Tides are actually just going to engage themselves. Odyssey, they are just going to take down Albacrow first, and that has to spell nightmare for Odyssey. Yuna just wails down on the remaining members of Red Team. It's a rapid 4-for-0. No stopwatches needed to be used. Cursed Tides dividing their attention across multiple objectives. Taking down the Dragon Envy inhibitor at the same time. And now they are moving towards the Baron as well.
Let's see you get out of this.
So Cursed Tides, I think this is reasonable. They opt not to go for a Baron after what happened. They just spend their gold and go for it again. Because I don't think there's a world in which they lose after, they base and spend whatever it is they have to spend. Jax with Zhonya's Hourglass now. Heimerdinger with Zhonya's completed. Zin's still sitting on his own stopwatch and probably moving towards a Guardian Angel, so Vi is very miserable this game. Because she's not playing from a position in which she's ahead. It's just so hard to do anything. The upgraded grenade from the Heimerdinger. Odyssey going onto Heimer. They want to burst him down. Can they do it in time? It will not happen. But what will happen instead is just Wibbly wreaking havoc on the enemy backline. Yuna pops his ultimate. He wants to go back in, but he almost died in the process. Wibbly is not scared of anything, though. He will continue to go in. A stopwatch! Zhonya's Hourglass from Yuna dodges the Vault Breaker. Cursed Tide just completely flexing on their opponents right now. 25 minutes in, we're looking at an open Nexus that will soon be destroyed. Yuna and Wibbly absolutely crushing it this game. The Malphite response from Rack was not enough. The rest of the map could not cope with what Wibbly had to offer on this Xin Zhao. Cursed Tides, a swift 2-0 versus their opponents. Odyssey eliminated from UNL Season 9. Cursed Tides move on to losers finals to face Astro Smurfs again.